Hello, lovely people. I'm Sinead, and welcome. You can see over here the little bed that I made last week. It didn't get painted, and it didn't get a mattress, but it doesn't rock anymore. So it's settled in and stopped rocking, and I can only attribute that to the weights that I stuck on it as an effort to get it to stop rocking. That doesn't always work, and sometimes just leaving it sit with on a flat surface, it'll settle. If there's any kind of weight on it, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think if it works with just putting the mattress in there. It doesn't weigh very much, but either way, it was worth it to make the effort by putting weights on it and having it not rock now. And so we can get started on the next bed, the loft bed, today. And yeah, before we get started on the assembly of the loft bed, I wanted to share the doll I'm donating to the raffle for the Pacific Northwest Doll Artist Expo this year, 2025. Here she is, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And I have to make her a special box so that she's contained and presented, but then she and all the little goodie bag donations will be ready to go. I gathered all the parts up into this tray, and so I've got to figure out where I'm going. So I know these are side rails for the bed, and I don't think I want to start with that. I think I want to start with the stairway at the end of the bed. So here's the platform for the bed. We're going to set that aside. This is the far end of the bed that would go this way. And here's the one side of the stairs. Two pieces, two layers here. Set that on that side, and this is the other two pieces for the other side. The back, and I'm just going to say I'm not sure right this minute how much of these are for the bed part or the stair part. Now I know these are all the stair rungs? No, that's not the right word. I've lost the word. Just went away. And these are finals that go on top of the post. So these are numbered. This is really convenient. These are all numbered. So you know that 1 and 1. And once looking at this, there's a laser print on this part. And this is the part that goes, like, this is the foot of the bed right here. And that's where you crawl up into the bed. And setting this on here will cover the holes from this side where the different, let's see, we have, yes, that's right, it's these. So these pieces go in to become part of the bed, and they go in the holes on this side. And there is a lower piece just for stability that goes in down here. Those parts I remember. These could just be hole covering. No, they're details on to give a box image, a raised box image on the railings. Okay. And these support the mattress. It's coming back to me. I think these support the mattress. No, these go on the outside of the front of that. They go right here. And I don't know if there's another one on the back side, because there's two here. That's kind of confusing to me. But then maybe, yeah, you would decorate it the same, just in case you wanted to turn it around and have it into the room. So those go there. And the wide ones go at the bottom, and the narrow ones go at the top on the railing. Okay, so now we've remembered what that's for. Not part of the stairs. Okay. Feel better about that. And the other thing that on figuring out which step goes where is matching up, like I believe, yeah, the short fat one is the facing of the step, like that. I don't know if you can see it from this direction. I'll turn it around here in a minute. And then the longer one caps it, I think. But yes, it caps it, but it has to be like, yeah, we're going to put these on after we've got the back in. So, let's start with that. Let's put the back in, get that glued in place. That's interesting. There's a gap here. And then we'll move on to gluing it in place on here, I think. Get both sides glued. But I forgot my glue. Of all the things to forget. Okay, we've got the glue. And we just want to be sure we get, I guess, the tabs glued on both sides. And the, that one's harder to get in there. It's narrow. And the flat part, or that, wow, words are not working today. The areas that are going to make contact need to have the glue put on them. Our car broke down, so I've been trying to get Arthur to figure out what he's going to do. And it's just so weird when you, it's a weird situation. Let's just say that. The dynamic is so different than when I was younger. And I'm using this block to help me keep it square. And let's see. I'm going to clean off the glue. It's smooched out. Okay, now do I want to go ahead and put, it goes this way, which really means, wait, I'm confused. That goes to the bed. I got confused again. Is this the inside or the outside? So I don't know actually which way this goes. I'm going to have to, these are where the notches, and that's covering the little notches. So usually that's on the outside. Does it make sense? It does. Okay. It does. So this is the outside. And I'm wondering that I can do this. That's too tall. I think I'm going to have to turn it over on its back to get it for setup, or it'll end up crooked. So hopefully after I get this glue on here, I can flip it onto its back and still be able to hold it in a good position. The other thing would be to be patient and wait for this to set up. And if you've been here anytime, you know I'm not actually really good at that. Patience. We've got a kick out of people telling me I was so patient with the kids. And I was like, no, not really. You're mistaking me. It's not that I wasn't patient with them. It's just, I wasn't. Okay. Oh, wow, I've got myself confused again. I picked it up. All right, let's do this first. Move that. Back over on the back. Hopefully I can get in there and wipe up the extra glue. You got to be really careful with this piece because it is not attached like in a very narrow area. And we're going to just call that good. And then put this that way. I think. And slide that in there. Okay. We are going to let that set up for a minute before we go slapping the next piece on, which would be these pieces. Wow, that lines up so much easier when it's laying on its back. Maybe I could go ahead and do that. I think I'm going to do that off camera, though. There's a lot of glue there. Okay, I've turned it right side up. So the outside pieces of the staircase are on, and we've got this cool little detail cut out there. I believe that putting the front of the steps on first is, oh, yeah, it's kind of important to get this in here. This will help keep everything in the front in the right place. You don't want to wait until the glue has set up to where you can't get this in. So need to be sure to orient the numbers towards the inside so they don't show. You don't have to worry about covering them with paint. Sometimes that kind of stuff will just show right through. And it might be easier to put the tops here on with it stood up, which is why I had it stood up. So I was thinking that it would be easier that way. And then I was like, oh, you can't see. So I'm going to try and get at least a couple of these in here. I'm not sure I put that in the right place. Let's see. It's checking. Yeah, that is in the right place. Okay. This one's complicated. It has these cutouts that go around. I'm not 100% on getting this one in there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull it apart. Okay. Let's get that one in. It's the only one that's weird. And it just caused everything to fall off. Okay. I'll need to put that back because it's kind of the spacer. Don't want that glue there. I think I just put that glue in the wrong place too. Where's the paper towel? Okay. Don't want it on the end. I want it on the bottom. Let's see. That one does go on the end, but not this end. Okay. Talking myself through it. So it needs to go with a bit of glue here, I guess. Somewhere along here. I wonder if there's enough glue for that to stick. Does it need it reapplied? No, it's still stuck. Okay. Now, round post. Pull that up. Yeah, that was the most complicated one to get in there. It's kind of like you need to start there because it's the only one that has to go around to the inside. And then everybody else has to be stuck on the fronts and then on top. So hopefully nobody else has to have it pulled apart to get it in there. That would have been a great bit of information for, like if there was instructions on this, being told, you know, to put in the second step first. Second tread, I think. Maybe that's what they're called. And it has just a tiny little bit of hangover on the sides, but not much. Let's see, it's barely. And then of course there's the hangover at the front, which you push it in as far as it'll go. Hopefully all that will hold. And hopefully I can get my hand in here to do the rest. That's having some doubts on that. Okay. Oh no. No, 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 no. Don't give me trouble. Okay. Maybe I'll put the glue in here like that. Well, I was thinking I could put in all the facing boards like this and then put the treads on. These are risers. The zigzag cut. This, I'm not sure what that's called. And that moved. That's not good. We're going to apply some more glue here. Probably because I pulled it up and put it back down. Can only do that so many times and have it still stick, right? All right. Well, I'm going to continue on up off screen. You do have to put the facing board, because that's just what we're going to call it, on before you put the tread on, because the facing board takes up the space that decides the placement of the tread. So you do have to glue this in place before you put the one below it in place. I'm wondering if I should go up to the top and work my way down or something. These treads have to be slid in from the outside here in order to get under this tight space. So it's turning out to be an interesting little puzzle. This is the next tread. So this is what I mean, like it has to be slid in like this, which means that any glue you stick over here is sliding across, and you're probably ending up with glue all underneath here in places you didn't think you were going to have it. And that you have to have this in place, which goes in like that first. So you need to put it into the little notch. Can you see that notch? That is on the outside, and then slide it in before you put the next tread on. Just wanted to make that. I was just realizing it was getting complicated over here on the how to exactly slide it in. I didn't really think it was going to be that complicated. I also forgot that needed glue on the end. Try not to get your glue everywhere. Okay, I think that worked pretty good. Got the glue into both the corner and up against there. And yeah, get the right tread here. And is it easier to slide it in? You got to get this easier to put the glue here. You can't really lift up and apply glue. That's probably enough to get it in place. I don't know. We're going to put a little bit there. Oh, we could put glue on the end. Yeah, let's put the glue on the edges here too to help give it another spot. I haven't been doing that. I don't know that it's important, but I'm kind of feeling like there's not enough attachment points for real stability. And these newels are those, whatever, the decorative parts here on the hand railing. They aren't attached down here onto the tread, and that kind of bothers me, but it's probably not a problem. Everything else seems to be holding once glued, so I'll finish this up. Okay, the steps are all put together. We've got the upper step. I had to watch a little more closely on that because they're the same width. They look more alike than the other ones. Wasn't quite as much different about them. So yeah, make sure that I got the shorter one in there before I got glue on the wrong one. And I think it's pretty good. So now it's time to attach the loft part. And I was just thinking that maybe it would make more sense to attach the trim pieces first. Just be real careful that you line them up between. Yeah, and there's a narrow piece that supports, one of those narrow pieces supports the mattress. So this is what I'm talking about. Don't line it up with the end here. Make sure it's over. And even with the bottom or the outer edge, and in far enough that the tabs can go in where they need to go in. And let's see. That looks like the right one. Okay, now I just have to repeat that one more time. Both of these have the trim on the outside. You can see that a little bit from the end there. And now I want to put the mattress supports in place. And that's just the bottom edge, so that just a little catch. Put on just like the trim, making sure that the tabs stick out. Removing the excess. Ooh, there's a lot more excess on this end. Just gonna run that in there. My toothpick is already broken on me. Okay. I don't want to put a lot of pressure and accidentally, like make it start sliding around. And the other piece that goes down here has little tabs on it and a second layer, piece of fuzz stuck, and a second layer that goes on it as well. And I'm going to put that towards the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and glue on that as well, because we need to have all 3 of these pieces prepped before we stick the end of the bed on, because it's kind of like doing that step over here where you had to pull it apart to get the piece in. You want everybody ready to go. So I'll have to go in like, they have to be in place like that, and then this one will need to go in up here. And I'm probably going to have to set the whole thing up, and it won't be able to fit under the camera. So, to give you an idea here is that as soon as I get this other piece glued on, the inner end, what do you call it, footboard or headboard, will go on here, and it'll have to be slotted onto all the tabs at the same time to glue it in place. And it'll probably be easier to do that with it upright. And like I said, that won't fit under the camera. Just dry fitting it right now. Not everybody's in place. Okay, so that's kind of what we're trying to do is get all those pieces together, and then I'll be able to put this trim piece on the outside. So I need to glue this on to the other railing over here. This really was a get everybody in place and stick it together, and it wants to be really, really wobbly in these tab spots. So I've got the blocks to try and keep it square, and I'm going to go ahead and glue the trim piece on the outside. And I am maybe I should move the camera up a little. Let me do that. Okay, it's kind of precarious there. The stand wants to overbalance, so hopefully the camera doesn't fall forward. But I hope that makes it to where you can see a little better what's going on. So it really was too close. And just trying to get the glue in all the places that it needs to be. And once we get all of this stabilized, which, yeah, it's wiggling. There are those little square pieces go up here on top as little trim finals, going through and trying to get everybody stuck. And it might make more sense to flip it on its back, I think, at this point. Let's see if we can keep it square. Ooh. Yeah, that helps. That gives us a little more stability on supporting everything. It is really, feels very fragile. So trying not to push too hard. But there is a little squares, these little squares go glued on to the top of each of these. So hopefully you've got all of these lined up properly. If you don't, like I don't know what happened there. Somebody moved. Well, maybe it was just not. Yeah, the ones in the middle are lined up, but these aren't. So I'll have to take some sandpaper to that so that you can get it to glue on there properly. And it goes on each of those spots where, you know, like the top of a post. We're going to let this set up. As soon as I hit stop on the last clip, the camera fell forward and hit me. So Yeah, I shortened it back down. As you can see, I glued the little final pieces on. I had to use a craft knife to kind of get that evened up. I could have done it all with sandpaper, but it's a lot less time to slice off just a little bit and then sand it flat. And I actually put the sandpaper on the work surface and turned this upside down and wrapped it around on there to get a nice flat sanded area to glue to. So here we are, we're all finished, ready for paint and a mattress. And it may happen this week, it may not, I don't know. And we'll be picking out a different project. Maybe I'll get some stuff painted and ready to be put together, since it has to be prepped, and do that next week. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the content this week, and that you have a delightful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.